that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I gotta get this on camera. No. Hey everybody, welcome to the Marino Show. I'm your host, David Marino, and I'm welcoming back filmmaker Ronald Short. His new series, Teagan, is going to be premiering in December. We have all the details. And Ronald, I'm so happy that you're back to talk about this really cool series. We've touched on it before, but tell me what's happening with it and what's the latest.
Thank you so much for having me back. I always love coming on and discussing projects with you. It's always a great time. Um, Teagan and His Bros will be releasing officially in December 9th. It's a series that we produced here in Austin with our team, and it's launching on the streaming service Laugh After Dark TV, which is a comedy focused service, which you don't see a lot of these days. But they're focused on stand-up and comedy films and works like series and such like Teagan. And they also have, for your horror lovers, they also have various horror comedies on there as well. But yeah, our series will be exclusive to that platform on December 9th. All 4 episodes will be released that day. So you can binge them and binge them again.
How can you find that platform? Is it just anywhere you're looking for streaming, like, with the
Yes.
other various platforms that are out there?
Yeah, so smart TVs, I believe, should have it, or you just have to look in your apps. On the iPhone, again, just search in your apps for Laugh After Dark TV. You could also probably just search for Laugh After Dark, and their website will take you to it. But yeah, they're a growing platform that supports not only stand-up but also comedy films. And I'm somebody who obviously loves horror a lot, but comedy is where I kind of started, and I love it a lot too. So I'm glad there's something out there that's celebrating comedy as well as horror.
Now, the last time we had talked about Teagan, this was before you got on Laughed After Dark because you were still in the process of getting that done. But how did that come about? Because I think it's really cool that you were able to get it on a streaming service. And I know with indie type of projects, it's about visibility, right? I mean, we also obviously have social media, but being able to also be on like a streaming service like that does have that kind of audience that's comedy horror. How are you able to make that happen?
Yeah, I got to know them by submitting to their festival first. They started Laugh After Dark Comedy and Film Festival 4 years ago now, I believe. 2021, 2022, something like that. And I submitted to the first one with a film we made right after, the pandemic. Everyone was vaccinated, and we shot a little short film, and it got in there. And we won an award there, and we kind of got in with them, and we've been submitting to that festival ever since. And being someone who's like an alumni with the festival, they reached out to everybody saying, "Hey, we're launching this new platform. We're looking for projects," and obviously they've already played a lot of our stuff, so it was a good fit. And yeah, I've gotten to know Robert and Kelsey. They're the owners of Laugh After Dark, and they're just incredibly nice people and very supportive and very much about supporting the artist and not just, taking everything as the streaming service, just taking all of it themselves. They are actually trying to make it fair for artists, which I really appreciate.
Tell us about Teagan again, because I remember how excited I was when you first told me about it, because it's perfect, like, I don't know how to describe, stoner kind of comedy, fun, Muppet, all of those things together. So tell me about it again, because I know people are really going to want to watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. Teagan and His Bros is a 4-episode show so far. We're hoping to make more, about 2 stoners who adopt a cat who is also a stoner. He is a talking puppet cat. The world will, we have only met Teagan so far, animal wise, but the world will likely have more talking animals. Eventually, we'll see. But it's the 4 episodes is about them adopting him, finding him, and then trying to bring him into their lives. They're all three slackers. They all three have opinions, and they're all three kind of dumb and get angry about silly stuff. So it's just about them all finding a way to get past their differences and trying to make the best life for this cat that they can.
I have a surprise for you. What? What is it? Oh. Hell yeah.
What are you guys' names anyway?
Oh, I'm Bobby, and this is Connor.
Hey there, little guy. So, are we like at the naming stage yet? Because I got the perfect name for this little dude. Garfield.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Whoa,
You kidding me?
I'm sorry.
Garfield did?
And this was shot obviously here in Austin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about the process of creating Teagan, and the whole kind of the shooting part of it is as well. Like, how did you coordinate that? How did you create Teagan, the the Muppet himself? How did that all come into play and creation?
I'm just gonna bring him in. Just I feel like this is a perfect time to bring Teagan in. So Teagan, I didn't make Teagan. I had a friend, a producer, who was wanting to make something with me, and we were working on this little puppet project called the Grackle and Army. It's about a grackle and armadillo puppet who try to start a band in Austin, and Teagan was a part of their band, Alien Jukebox. Let me see. There we go. Alien Jukebox is the band. He also has a hat. But they're working on that band in that show, and it's a little more family oriented. I wanted it to be for everybody, not necessarily adult oriented like Teagan is. However, some of the grants we were trying for didn't really work out, and that project would be a little more expensive than what we did with Teagan. Teagan came about because I had this puppet, and a lot of people seemed to enjoy him, seemed to be drawn to him. He was probably, out of the 3 puppets I had made, he was the one that seemed to be everyone's favorite. And I just started thinking, like, okay, this particular project didn't work out. What can I do with maybe this guy alone? And that's how it kind of evolved from there. I decided to make it more adult, make it stoner. A lot of my comedy stuff is stoner. Not that I'm a stoner, no way. I don't touch this stuff. But yeah, so I really wanted to make something that, like, the Jim Henson stuff, really, like, even Sesame Street and stuff. People, like, in the 70s and 80s were watching, like, in college were watching that. And like, that's, for kids, some of it's preschool stuff. So I was thinking, what if we try to tap into that desire of a college kid getting baked or drunk or whatever the hell it is. It's turning on something. And these are only, like, the longest episode's 7 minutes. So it's something you can watch, like, 20 minutes, 4 episodes. Something you can watch in a sitting and, yeah, just have a good time and escape the world, for a minute. The world's kind of dark these days, so I like having something you can escape with.
For you, what are you hoping that people get out of, aside from escaping, like the subject matter for these episodes? You don't have to give too much away, but what are you hoping to accomplish with the audience, or who are you trying to really kind of hook with this? Because you're right, the people from our generation, I'm probably a little older than you, but I also grew up in the 70s, 80s, and I watched the Muppets. I watched, Sesame Street, particularly the Muppets. I had the Muppet movie vinyl I listened to as a kid. I mean, all of us from that generation were so transfixed with that. And even as I got older, even when I hear the songs from that movie, it kind of gets me a little, like, choked up, because it was just such a different time. And although it's nostalgia, I love that you're kind of taking that and doing a twist on it. But what are you hoping the audience gets out of Teagan and His Bros?
Yeah, that's a good question. And before I answer that, I do want to give a shout out to 2 folks I meant to shout out in the last section. The guy who built the puppet, Chadwick Smith, and my producer who put up some funds for the puppets, Tommy Martin. Thank you guys so much. Just wanted to give a shout out. What I want for Teagan, really, my most selfish goal is to be able to make a show here in Austin that taps into the comedy scene that's been here for forever. We have such a good comedy scene that has more recently gotten some spotlights put on it for not the best reasons, but it's because people moved into that. But anyway, the comedy scene here has always been great. There's people here I want to work with. And yeah, I want to make a show here where like I'm giving people jobs, hopefully, through stuff like Laugh After Dark. Hopefully we're able to pay for people to make more episodes. And I want to be able to make a show in Austin that is taking care of people I love and is and highlighting the comedy scene. So that's where it's coming from a selfish place. From an audience standpoint, I really just want people to laugh. I want people to appreciate the art form of puppetry. I actually perform Teagan in the show, and it's not like I want people to like, I don't have an ego about it, but I really tried to study puppetry. I really tried to like care about it and like put, the correct emotion into the arm. It's really just your arm and your voice, which is crazy. But yeah, I want puppetry to be more appreciated as an art form. And that's another reason I like horror so much, is because that genre uses it so often, puppetry and practical effects. So yeah, I just want people to have a good time, and hopefully we get to make more in Austin and get to work with awesome people.
I hope so too, but one of the things that when you're talking about it being Austin based, there are many shows and films and productions that have been very Austin. Or here's what I want to say. When we see Austin kind of represented sometimes in popular culture shows that mention us, there's a very specific image that I don't really feel altogether is really people who know Austin before, who have been here for a long time, and who know the difference now. I think it's represented by what it is now. But what I loved about, growing up in San Antonio and just coming to Austin in the 90s as like a teenager and then into my 20s, was that it was so different. It was very like, and I don't by any means say that I'm from here. I'm not. But there's definitely a feeling for people that have been from Austin, who have seen it go through its evolution, that will get it, like the humor and probably, and I wanted to ask you about this, making it Austin centric. Are you hoping that people who are from this area, especially in the comedy scene, kind of get those little things that maybe the audience at large won't get? It's still funny, but like that it's Austin centric.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate shows that celebrate the city they're in. A good example that isn't New York or LA would be recently The Bear on Chicago. They celebrate it so much, and they don't dumb it down for people who are outside of Chicago. They're saying lingo, they're talking about the food there and everything, and they don't like explain it for us. So I very much want to have an Austin identity in the show, where if you're not necessarily from here, maybe you have to have it explained to you, but hopefully it catches on enough that people want to care and learn more about the people here and what kind of people we are.
So now that you've finished Teagan and His Bros and you've gotten these 4 episodes out of the way, I know the hope is to continue to do more, but would you do any other types of series, even if it wasn't Teagan and His Bros? Are you hoping too that maybe this leads to other types of series work? Because I know you've done a lot of film, short film, longer film projects, but is this sort of your foray into maybe more episodic type features or shows?
Yeah, sure. I would love to do more of this stuff. Comedy as a genre has kind of moved from the cinema to the television. You don't really see a lot of big comedies unless there's a genre element to it, or unless there's a big name person behind it. So I feel like if I want to still do comedy and like write comedy, that television is probably where I would need to get that fix. So yeah, I would love to continue making. Cinema is my number one. My that's what I my dream to do is make movies for the rest of my life. However, like I said, comedies has kind of moved to the small screen. So I have been more open to that idea. And I will say that we have had another series in the past called Weekend Plans, and we filmed that. It came out in 2015, and that show we just didn't have the push behind it that I really wanted to kind of get it out there. We didn't have the money to do it. We didn't have the people to do it. And with this one, I feel like I have enough people involved to really push it. And with our partnership with Laugh After Dark, especially, they have such a big platform already on YouTube and on their other social medias that they're using to get people to come to their platform. And I'm hoping that we can, symbiotically benefit each other by releasing on there. So yes, absolutely, I'd like to keep doing it. Maybe not just Teagan and His Bros. Like Grackle and Army, I'd love to actually make that a reality. Maybe more puppet stuff, something more for the full family, because I have nephews and nieces, and I'd love them to be able to watch some of my stuff. But so far, they're not so much. But I would love to make something more for the family that everyone can watch too. So yeah, I would love to do that for sure.
I love that you've picked a cat. I love cats.
They're my favorite.
Cats are very specific. People are either, I mean, there are people that are both, because I like dogs too, but I actually prefer cats now. I was more of a dog person when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But cats it takes a certain kind of person to have a cat, because they do their own thing. They want you when they want you, and then otherwise they're like, leave me alone. But I love that about them, because they're independent, and I like their personalities. So I think that you've really hit on something with the cat thing. I don't know if you've watched. It's crazy because you've had this in development and you've had this going for a while, getting to this point.
Yeah.
But I have been seeing on social media all of these like cats playing instruments and bothering people, screaming at people in restaurants, and it's just this latest new thing. So I'm like, I feel like maybe everything's aligning for you.
Yes.
Because this is like, it's so big. I see it everywhere. I'm like, when did this? It felt just so recent. Like, how did this cat thing start?
Yes.
Really interesting. Have you noticed
I'm
it?
crossing my fingers. I feel like for sure. There seems to be an ebb and flow with cats in the internet. Because like when I was in college, there was I Can't Has Cheeseburger, where they were posting cat stuff, the cat pictures all the time. And yeah, I feel like it goes away for a while and it comes back again because people realize cats are awesome. And we really need that. I feel like it also has to do with where we're at as a society. Is it a darker time? Do we need more cat pictures to make us happier? I think we do. So yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of, and I don't think it's dark, because you can see posters behind. I love horror.
Yes.
I love horror movies. I know you do. You've done many that I've watched, your shorter films. Mm-hmm. And you just recently completed, or you have a short film that is now done, right? A new horror short. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we're actually it's 99% done. We're just waiting for a final pass on color. So it's pretty much there. We've started submitting at places. It's a micro short, a man in suit monster movie about a guy at a camp. He's at a bonfire with some friends or family. He's drunk. He stumbles to the edge of the woods to take a leak. As he's doing so, he starts to absentmindedly whistle, and then something in the woods hears it and responds. And at first it seems playful and fun, but then it kind of, as most horror things do, turns. It's the first time we've gotten to do a man in suit monster. We did a little fundraising campaign at the beginning of the year for post on it. We put up money out of our pocket for production, and I filmed it in Indiana on my parents' property. They have a little farm out there with a little patch of woods. So we were out there for 2 full nights, and we saw the sunrise on the second night. It was very muddy and cold. One of the hardest shoots ever, but it was. I'm very proud of the film, and I'm excited for people to see it.
And I have to tell you, I always think of this. I know you have several films, but one of the ones that I really loved that you sent me was the Rink. I
Oh yeah.
can never get that movie out of my head because I just feel like it was so well done and such a good little horror short and so just professional looking. Not that you wouldn't be, but
Sure.
it looked like a big movie. You know, I don't even like saying that because I think indie doesn't mean that it's a lower
No.
value by any means. But sometimes the word indie conjures up certain,
Yeah.
people have certain images of what that is. And I'm always trying to say indie's a lot of things and there are lower budget and I love those too. But this film that you did, The Rink, I always think back on that one because I thought that it was so well executed. And as a horror fan, the acting was on point. The special effects were on point. The atmosphere, the way you shot it or it was shot, I thought that
Hmm.
that was just such a fun movie that you did.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's so cool that it has stuck with you for so long. That short was probably one of the biggest team like of crew I've ever had. We got some grants for that one, and we were able to actually pay people what they were worth, and well, not everybody, but a lot of people, and we were able to like really fill out the script, and people believed in it, and yeah, that was like that felt like I don't again like what you're saying. I don't want to say real like indie. My all my films are real, but it felt like a bigger production set, and I think that comes through in the film as well. So, thank you. I appreciate the kind words on that.
You also had Body, which I saw, and that was another one that had been on the festival circuit for a bit. Is that actually out yet publicly? Because I saw you sent it to me, and I remember that one too.
Yes, yeah, that one is actually already on Laugh After Dark, as on their platform, and also it's on. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name. We released through another horror platform, Unholy TV. Unholy TV. They just launched on. They're on YouTube right now, and I think they're going to have their own kind of service in the next year or so. But they're just kind of trying out the YouTube thing right now. So you can find us on YouTube as well under Unholy TV.
So I want to go back to Teagan real quick because I forgot to ask. So you're playing Teagan, but who are the other actors in the show?
Yeah. Michael Vera is playing Connor, and Nathan Minger is playing Bobby. Those are the bros in the title. And then we have some co stars. Becca Safarian is playing Daphne, and Stephanie Fonseca is playing, what's her name? Daphne and, oh, Janice. God, I'm blanking on him. Daphne and Janice. And Ellis H is playing Leon in the last episode. So we got some great, funny people involved. And yeah.
Looking ahead, what are you hoping to, kind of in your art world accomplish within the next year or even a couple of years, planning out these different projects? And I know saying that with that comes getting funding and all those kind of things for different types of projects. So I know it's not this easy kind of thing, but in best case scenario, what are you hoping for?
So I obviously have this release in December. We are officially going to be releasing our feature film, Good Feels on Wheels, early next year. So we're finally getting that out there. That was one we shot in 2016 and got it out in festivals in late 2018. That's a rom-com, so that doesn't have anything to do with horror or puppets or anything. But yeah, it's going to be finally released next year for people to check out. We've kind of been sitting on it and waiting for the right moment. And again, we're using Laugh After Dark to hopefully, we're kind of using Teagan and that to kind of see what we can do with them and see how much potential they have. I think that they have a lot. So we're going to tap into that. Projects wise, I am writing a feature film that I really want to make. I really want to do a horror feature length film. That's my next goal, and that would be before the next batch of Teagan and His Bros or anything. So I'm hoping that'll be next.
Do you have a premise for it yet, or is it anything you want to talk about yet, or you want to hold off until?
I could talk a little bit. I'm on the last act, so I'm kind of like working out some of it still. But it's again about I want puppets to be involved with my stuff, but it's about a children's show host whose station loses funding, and she can't find another way to get back on her feet. Also, I've never pitched this before, so I apologize if it's rough. She's looking for ways to get back on her feet. She tries YouTubes and stuff. She gets kind of to her limit, and then her puppet that she has her show with comes to life and convinces her to start killing people. So that's kind of the idea.
As an artist, I'm sure that it feels good to have a lot of say in what is done, how it's presented, and having that control has to be, has to be good for you, and not just you, but your crew and the actors, and being able to have more of a voice. Would you say that that's how you feel even with the people that work with you?
Yeah, I can't speak for them, but I do. My relationship with them, working in the indie world, I feel like it's great because it's you can be so flexible with the people you have. You can they're willing to do a lot for you because they believe in the thing. And in the once you get more and more people involved that have money involved, you've got a lot more notes, a lot more people who have things they want to say or don't want you to do. And sometimes it sucks at working at such a small level, not having access to all of the things that they have, but you also get to make the thing you want to make as closely as you can to your vision. So yeah, I love the indie world. My goal as a filmmaker, if I'm talking like the big dream, I don't want, like, my goal isn't to like make a Star Wars or a Marvel or anything like that. I want to just be able to find the money to make my stories. That's what I want to tell. So that's what's really important to me. And so I'm probably always going to be working in the indie world because of that. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully somebody likes the stuff we do, and maybe somebody will catch on.
I know you have the passion for it, but how do you keep yourself motivated to deal with some of those things that are a strain,
Yeah. I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to keep my mental health well, and in the process of getting a lot. I've been working a long time at this, and you still get a lot of rejection from film festivals or grants or whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff you apply for as a filmmaker, and you're getting a lot of no's. And I'm somebody who I do struggle with anxiety. I do struggle with depression. So I definitely have dark days where I get a no from something I was really excited about or really thought we had a chance to get in, and it takes me down for a day or two. But what really keeps me going, and I try to focus on, is the wins, the small things that I've had happen throughout that have kept me on the trail, on that path. Like, we've won some awards at festivals, or I just recently got cast in a commercial, or we had great. Even you just saying that the Rink meant something to you is a little win, is a little win for someone like me.